Hi, it's Lisa Sasevich. Welcome back. And again, great job. This means the fact that you're here, that you've already looked at your introduction and positioning, that first 10 to 15 minutes of your talk, you're working through the body of the talk, which was prior to this. That's going to be about 40 to 50 minutes of your talk. And now we're getting into that last segment. And this could take 20 to 30 minutes. And you might think, wow, I'm going to transition or close for that long. But you'll see when you see how it all comes together. And again, this is all right out of Module 2. You'll see that we'll make it easy peasy for you to do. So transitioning to your offer. Again, we've done the intro, we've done the body, now it's time for the transition. And if you look at your Signature Talk formula, you will see that the transitioning is actually quite a few steps. It's 7 through 12, 6 different steps. They happen pretty quick and they happen together. And you'll be able to, once you get this all filled out in our online generator here, you can use slides to make sure that you hit all these points. That's what I do. It kind of guides me through the Signature Talk formula so you don't have to memorize anything. Again, that's the beauty of no script. This is just a structure, and the structure does the selling. So my goal here is to make sure you get all these pieces in, and then you get to be you, connect and shine with the audience, tell your stories, talk about the successes you've had and all of the possibility that you see for them. So we're going to start with number 7 below, and finally we're here. I think I've told you we're getting there 2 times. Now we're here. Segue into your transition bullet. So remember in the beginning we had the 3 bullets and then the 4th one is called the transition bullet. It's kind of like, this is what we're going to cover today. So here you'll see again a drop down menu. We've gotten some that we recommend. You can say the 4th thing I'm going to cover today is how you can develop your own XYZ, right? Your own healthy vital diet plan, your own signature talk that sells, your own dream relationship, your own financial abundance plan, fill in the blank. This is really, again, you setting it up in the front. This is seeding, right, which we cover in Module 3. This is you setting it up in the front. The seeding is built into the structure. It's that telling them that you're going to show them this. That way when you sample platter through your 5 steps, we call it sample platter because you're showing the 5 steps and teaching a little bit along the way. That's why your transition can take a half an hour. Nobody feels like you're selling. Nobody feels like you're in the close, but you are. Once you start showing that formula, you are. And that's the great news. If someone tells you you've got 5 minutes to close and 90 minutes, 85 minutes to talk, no problem. But you're well into your close when you start going through the sample platter. They're just thinking about the part where you say the price. So they'll still be satisfied. So you pick one of those, pick your transition. An easy one that almost any of you can use is how to turn today's immediately useful information into a long and lasting transformation. I'll be showing you that too. That's your 4th bullet, and when you get there, that's exactly what you're going to do. And we've also got, I'll show you how to take all of this further with training, tools, and support. So you fill in the blank or create your own, but the idea is that it carries them into the future, which is what you're going to do in your last segment. Now, number 8, this is really more instructional. This is that when you distribute your order form, which on our campus we call your summary sheet, and as you see the sample order forms, you'll see that because it's got a summary of your 5 points on the top that you just sample plattered through, you hand it out toward the very end. You say, who would like a summary with the 5 points I just covered? And they say, I do. And that's how you get your audience begging for your order form. When you pass it out, as it shares here in number 8, when you look at the formula, you're going to be saying, hey, this is both a summary and it's a chance to take this further. I told you I was going to give you a chance to take this further, and this is the opportunity for those of you that want to work with me, want to take this further. So you pass out your summary sheet, and you let them know so they don't feel bait and switch. It's both a summary and the offer, the invitation to work further with you so they can have this long and lasting transformation. And then what you want to do in number 9, there's a couple elements as you'll see below, is I'm just trying to remind you some of the early teachings from this course that you want to focus when you're going through, when you're sample plattering through your 5 steps, saying, hey, we already covered number 1, let me show you the other steps that you need if you really want to have, not just some quick info today, but long and lasting transformation. You want to focus, remember, 80 to 90% of your words, of your energy, right, on that outcome or transformation, and 10 or 20% on how you're going to deliver it. You absolutely have to include that. They need to know, is it a teleseminar, a webinar, is it one-on-one, is it group, am I coming out live? I mean, they do have to know. That's called the scope of work, and you do have to share that. but you don't need to go on and on and on about how many pages are in the workbook and how many minutes are on each CD and how many hours of coaching they get at your live event. That is just overwhelming, and that is actually causing people to remember how overwhelmed they are in life. So you just want to be like, hey, it's a simple teleseminar. You can pick up the phone from anywhere, attend live, listen later. You really can work this into your schedule. People never even ask us the dates. They're like, oh, okay. So we don't want to put that in their space. So you'll see below, this is just my tickler, my reminder for you. When you fill in, list the outcome or the transformation. So put it there so that when you're going through this part, you're remembering when you go through each bullet, it's not, oh, there's 67 worksheets in Module 2. It's, wow, when you do Module 2, you're going to learn how to create vulnerability and credibility instantly with any audience you meet. And we have worksheets, and it's a 90-minute call you can do from anywhere. You see that 80-20, 90-10 ratio? So, so you're going to just remind yourself, what is the outcome that, so that you can stay in that mindset, and then what are the details of how you deliver it? Because sometimes people get so focused on the outcome when they first try this. I've had people, and I've done it myself, completely forget to tell them, and people are like, hey, I want to do what you're saying, but is it live? Where do I have to fly? So don't forget that part about how you deliver it. Then you'll see develop the value for the bonuses. So in Module 3 that I know you've already reviewed on seeding, we talked about an advanced strategy called reverse seeding. So if you know a bonus is coming, how can you say some things about it during your talk to make them really hungry for that? And that way when you give it as a bonus, it's like, oh, thank God, right? Like some of you received our Get Booked Toolkit. So early in the talk, I said, wow, one of the best ways to get your talk done is get booked, because then you're going to take this course seriously. At the end, when I give my Get Booked Toolkit, I don't even have to say much about it because I already created the hunger seeding earlier. Again, review Module 3 if you want to go deeper in this. I know we're in quick fill in the blank right now. But what you want to do there under number 9 is develop the value of the bonus. So it's just asking you, where can you relate deliverables back to seeding you did? So you'd want to list your bonus and then, put in a sentence to remind yourself, just like, for example, just like JJ Virgin did when she used this to get booked because that was the thing that got her talk done really fast. So you're tying it back. And then the last piece is the limiters. And this is really to support you. You might want to have a slide so that you don't forget. Or another trick is you can write your limiter notes down on your own order form. So you've got one and they've got one. They don't know yours has secret notes on it. Don't put too many notes or you won't be able to see from the stage, just a couple bullets. But you want to be clear. So if you have something that's this break only or today only, I always put up a slide because I don't want to forget. And then if you have something that's for the first X number of people, remember we had the time limit and the quantity limit, again, you'd either have a slide or if it's like something physical, usually the first X number of people, it's good if it has a physical component. If you're giving a USB with something on it or a worksheet or a pedometer for them to start taking steps and tracking their exercise right away, whatever it is, you also want to remind yourself. So you can put it on a slide or maybe just have the thing right there on your music stand or side table. But I want you to list your limiters so that you're crystal clear, because the thing with limiters is if you're not clear, guess what? They will not be clear. The other two things that you'll see below in number 9, again, this is a lot for one step, I know, but that's why we are helping you fill in the blanks. You can do it on paper, you can do it online, is you've got to justify two different things. You've got to justify the today only offer. So why is it today only? And we've given you a couple examples, like this is to acknowledge people who take fast action. That's usually the truth for me. You want it to be true. Or to acknowledge the investment that they've already made. Maybe you're speaking in a live room. They've already paid $1,000 to be there, hotel and flight. So you're acknowledging that they've already invested to be there. And so you're giving them a fast action scholarship today. But you have to say the why, and it has to be authentic. If you don't say why you're giving them these discounts and bonuses, then people just make it up. And the default answer is, you just want my money. And that's really not that empowering relationship for them to have with you. So just tell them why, and then they won't have to fill in the blanks. And then the last thing you justify is the actual investment. So whatever the price is, and I always try to use the word invest instead of spend or price or cost, invest, is how is this going to pay them back? Either in time, money, energy, peace of mind, fulfillment. So it doesn't have to pay them back in dollars. Trust me, peace of mind or vitality, The cost of not having those things is a lot higher than most of any of us can afford. So you want to make this point. What would one new referral partner be worth to you? Right? Or in my slide deck, you'll see we show that I used to go out when I was just brand new with 2 little kids and do my talk at like the back of an Olive Garden at lunchtime. And that I showed them numbers on how I made $1,800 on average every week. And that gave me this amazing $65,000 a year base, right? A paid base that most entrepreneurs don't have. So when I show the price, they're relating it to that. And so I justify the investment by saying, if you can trust yourself to do your talk one time, you should be able to way more than make this investment. So how can you show it? You know, there's the older models of like, break it down to this will cost you a cup of coffee every day. But the biggest way that I like to justify the investment is what would be the cost of them not having this? What's the cost of one more day of no communication with your teenager? I mean, what could happen to them on the next day if they don't take charge right now? It's very easy to show the cost when you reverse it. You show the cost of not taking action. All right, moving right along. Number 10, this is where we're giving you an opportunity to handle the objections that are already circulating in their head, but they didn't say because this is not a Q&A. The Speak to Sell talk is one direction. So this is more chance for you to show that you really know them, you know the pain that they have, and to address that. So as it shares in the Speak to Sell formula, this is where you address the top objections that you know would come up. And you do it by reversing them into questions. So you say, let me answer the top 3 questions I always get right before people are about to invest in themselves. And then if you have any further questions, I'll stick around. I'll be back here for those of you that want to move forward and have questions. So you ask yourself, what are the top 3 reasons people don't invest in this offer? And what I do is I make a slide. You'll see it in the deck below. It says, but Lisa, what if? And then I have 3 to 5 bullets. What if I'm new? What if I don't have a list? What if I'm not a speaker? You answer those top 3 things, and that's going to handle 80–90% of the objections in the room. And we've listed in the Speak to Sell formula, you'll see, not good timing, just getting started. What if I don't trust myself to do the work? Those are going to be some of your top 3 too. So we've listed our answers there. We want you to just go ahead and take a minute, think it through, right? Again, you can visit module 4 in the website here if you want to go deeper on this before filling this out. But again, I'm giving you a quick review here. So that's a very powerful slide. And just to show you how powerful that is, I did a teleseminar once and I forgot that piece. We ran it, we did okay. We were doing an encore, rerunning it 2 days later. I recorded and spliced in that piece. Same talk, only I spliced in that piece. We did the exact same number of sales 2 days later with a quarter of the people on the line. That's a 4 times increase in conversion. So every piece of this structure is really critical. Number 11, coming into the home stretch, invite them to step up. This is really just, what is your way of something brief and inspiring that you could say from your heart? And sometimes you may not be able to pre-script this. You may just put a picture that reminds you to do that with no words. Sometimes I just have to connect with the audience and be like, you guys are ready. I can see it. You know, you've just spent 3 days at this conference learning how to attract leads, and you know what? This is going to be the thing that makes it pop open to convert those leads. So I have to kind of, sometimes it has to do with where you are, or you might just have one in the back of your mind that you like to close with. For example, I love to share, you know, if you want people to invest on the spot, you should start doing it. Business karma. Be the client you want to attract. And I know I'm singing to the choir here, right? But you may have some kind of an anecdote or something like that that's very powerful in your community. You know, it's like a day connecting with your child is worth, you know, making, you know, the biggest bonus you ever could at your work times 10. So you may have something you say that's related to your industry in your hip pocket. And then you want to invite them to meet you at the back table. You'll be there for a few minutes, and it's scripted here. Answer any questions they need answered to be able to join you for your upcoming offer. When you listen through transitioning and you listen to the Q&A section, we'll answer all those questions you have about how do I handle people in the back of the room. Right here, I want to kind of stay with the formula, but make sure to do the modules. You'd really be missing a lot if you don't. And then last, this is really just a reminder, don't tame the tension. No questions, no Q&A, no having them share between each other, no special parting exercise. All these things reduce the tension, and people only buy when there's tension raising up inside them, when they're conscious of, here I am and here's where I want to be, and wow, there's a big gap there. So all those things that we're thrown to do, because if you're doing a good job, there will be tension. So just hold off on anything that you're feeling like you want to do to make people feel better. Trust me, they're going to feel a lot better when they register for your course, they register for your coaching, for your service, and they handle that thing that's been, killing their life for probably quite a while. So great work. A little reminder, the Herculean challenge with all of this is always to end early. As you can see, I like to talk. It's still a challenge for me. I cannot say I have this one mastered, but it is critical. It is a big offense to go over on someone else's stage, and in many cases it's costly. There are even penalties in some of the contracts. So just practice, get this stuff down, make sure to go through and review the other segments of this Signature Talk generator so you can see what it looks like in action, and you're gonna be out there flying with your Signature Talk before you know it.